G'day viewers, this is the news for the Train Sim World 5 roadmap for November 2024. It's the last roadmap for 2024 in fact. There's quite a bit in it. So looking at the graphic here, basically the TLDR, so we'll skip that bit when we get there. There's a update for the West Coast Preston Carlisle line from Just Trains based on its release date. We'll cover that shortly. There's a gameplay add-ons bundle coming. There's Manchester Airport Commuter coming from ATS. So the route name is announced now. There's Cargo Line Volume 3 Intermodal coming from Skyhook Games. Mittenwaldbahn from TSG, and that one's got quite an exciting locomotive coming on it. One that I'm looking forward to. One that I've actually got. ScotRail Class 158 Rail Link livery is coming as an update, and the Fife Circle Lemonmouth branch also coming as an update. Both of those are free. West Coast Mainline South improvements coming courtesy of some of the community members getting folded into the game, along with some excellent efforts by Dovetail. More on that later. And there will be a new thing, the Season of Reveals for 2024. A range of new announcements and project updates coming across December. And try as we might, they would not give us any teasers. So, further down the tracks with release dates, one day, TBC, as it says, a UK route by a new developer called Incredible Trains, who apparently is a single-person effort, so this should be pretty cool. That means they'll be quite devoted to it. Cargo Line Volume 4 Military coming from Skyhook Games. A UK loco coming from Just Trains, and there's been a little bit of a teaser on that one. The Pfalzisch Ludwigsbahn Mannheim Kaiserslautern route coming up. Cardiff City we know about. Spolin Groningen we know about. East Coast Mainline Diesel Rail Tour Pack from Athena. Tadami Line Aizu Wakamatsu Tadami from Union. Coal and Aachen Timetable Update. BR Class 104 and Peak Forest Expansion Pack from SimTrack Studios, Santa Fe Gameplay Pack from High Iron Simulations, and a German loco from SimTrack Studios. And a remaster from Great Western Express. The loco, they're not got a new thing on that, but I kind of think it wasn't mentioned before. But anyway, let's skip the TLDR because we want to do the real one. This is the Train Sim World Roadmap, and as always, I read the roadmap article to you and have a look at the videos, pop in my own commentary to improve the accessibility and reach of the information for those who cannot or will not go and read it at the source. Welcome to the next roadmap for Train Sim World 5, where we share insights into our progress on new content, updates and future announcements for developments from both our teams and our range of third-party partners. The roadmap is your monthly check-in with our development teams and an insight into what to expect as we continue to move forwards from the launch and towards the new year. Read on for news from both us and our partners, including brand new announcements, updates and sneak peeks into our current routes in development, as well as new ways for you to get involved in our community and exciting upcoming events. And if you're wondering why I glanced off to the side there, I had this horrible thought that perhaps I wasn't recording, but I am, because I've done that before. Would you believe I've read through the entire article and then looked over it, the recording tool, and gone? But anyway, it's on. It's fine. In this edition, we'll be celebrating the launch of MBTA Commuter today and announcing new TSW5 Gameplay Packs coming to Gen 9 and PC platforms in December. From our third parties, the TSG team have a brand new route announcement to reveal today with some initial screenshots, and then we pass over to Just Trains, Alan Thompson Simulations and Rivet Games for more updates on their upcoming add-ons. Finally, we introduce a new partner into the TSW program with Incredible Trains. Now, let's just dwell on that first sentence for a moment. Announcing new TSW5 gameplay packs coming to Gen 9. Now, it did seem from the roadmap discussion, and this is my interpretation. I want to be really clear. This is my interpretation. I'm not speaking Dovetail or anything. Forget the little ambassador logo down there. It seems to me that there's a swing away from Gen 8, which I personally appreciate because this game is getting held back because of Gen 8. And the reality is the Gen 8 experience isn't particularly great anyway. If you're on an Xbox One, it's not good. If you're on a PS4, it's not good. So if you can, it's time to update your consoles. I'm very pleased to see what looks like a little bit of a swing away from Gen 8. I'm kind of hoping that that means that there's a big swing coming up from Gen 8. Now, that would only happen if the majority of the player base had actually moved on to Gen 9 consoles, because naturally enough, it's all about the commercials in who's got the cash. Alrighty, and before someone screams cash grab, of course it bloody is. They're a commercial organisation. They have to make money to pay their employees and pay their bills. That's what they're for. Anyway, back on with the roadmap. December is about to get very exciting, because in this roadmap you will also hear about the Dovetail Games Season of Reveals 2024, a new announcement event coming up that spans across the entire month and celebrates the end of the year with a huge range of new announcements and updates across Train Sim World and our other titles. We'll also have a grand reveal to the end of the year off in style, so stay tuned and get guessing as to what it could be. So while there isn't another roadmap this year, there's a road month, perhaps we should say. Our development teams will continue the conversation around upcoming improvements coming in Train Sim World 5, in particular the West Coast Mainline improvements, as well as updating you all around the situation regarding performance and crashes we're seeing in Train Sim World 5. We will always continue to take on your valued community feedback, and we discuss more about how this has helped inform our improvements coming in December. Finally, if you're new or returning, be sure to join us for our roadmap live stream. So that has just been streamed. I'll pop a link into the description. Content up ahead. MBTA Commuter, Boston to Framingham / Worcester line releasing today. Well, in fact, it was yesterday, because that's when this was written. And there we see the HSP46 tooling along beside the water with some nice autumnal colours, perhaps fall colours given it's an American route. I'll stoop to saying fall. Train Sim World 5's first add-on is here with the adventure across the east coast of the USA and culturally rich city of Boston, Massachusetts. Get ready to go purple with the MBTA HSP46 and MBTA F40PH-3C diesel locomotives, including the BTC and CTC bi-level cars. And the cab cars, of course. If you want to catch gameplay of this upcoming route, be sure to check out the first look video below, or check our recent MBTA Commuter preview livestream hosted by our executive producer of trains, Matt Paddleston, and our community manager, Harry, or just look on my channel because I played it live last night. Anyway, let's have a quick look at His music always seems these videos seem quite exciting. Anyway, you can have a look at my video from last night because I did play it live, and I'll probably be playing it some more on upcoming streams. Boston was one of my favourite routes according to the profile on Dovetail Live, and I have to say I did quite like this one. The last bit as you travel along towards Worcester, So Southborough, Westborough, Grafton and Worcester does drag a little bit, but the rest of it's spot on. And the drag is it's just kind of reality. It's the route map. It's the way it is, starting up at Boston South. We have the familiar Boston South, then we have Boston Back Bay, which is 2 new platforms that we haven't seen before because they're just a blank tunnel in the old route. And then we come through the other stations. So, yeah, it's a good play. Not just saying that, it actually is a good play, so quite enjoy it. The only thing, I did find the guard or conductor mode a little bit weird, but yeah, watch my stream, see what you think. Anyway, we hope you're excited to return to Boston, and following the release on all platforms, we'll be unlocking our MBTA Commuter feedback thread for you to share your thoughts directly with our development team. That thread is available. I'll drop a link into the description. Train Sim World 5 gameplay add-ons that are coming soon. Coming up in December, we'll be releasing all new gameplay add-ons that aim to bring more content for the routes included in Train Sim World 5, West Coast Main Line South, Frankfurt Fulda and the San Bernardino line. As an important note, these gameplay packs will only be available for players on PC platforms, Steam and Epic Games, and Gen 9 consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X and X. So, there it is again, a move away from Gen 8. No PS4, no Xbone. So, guess what you should be asking for Christmas, folks? You need to upgrade your consoles. Our teams have additionally been working on further improvements to support these core routes alongside these gameplay packs for all platforms to help improve the experience and address community feedback. In particular, this includes extensive improvements for the West Coast Main Line South route, which we'll share more news about later in this article. Expect more details about the content with these packs in early December, with a new event coming up that we're excited to announce to you all today. The Dovetail Games Season of Reveals 2024. As we approach the holiday season, we've got a real treat prepared that will fill the entire month with excitement and speculation. We're calling it the Season of Reveals 2024, an event that will fold together all new TSW add-on reveals, additional news on announced projects, and updates from a huge range of our third-party development teams. This will mainly focus on Train Sim World, but will also include other titles, with a new look at our VR title, Train Sim World VR New York, future development details on City Transport Simulator Tram, and more. The celebration starts on December the 2nd, 2024, third for the Aussies, and every day at 1400 UTC. Ooh, that means it'll be very early in the morning for the Aussies. We will release a new update video on a similar style to our Take a Ticket reveals in our recent Dovetail Direct. It all concludes on December the 20th with a special surprise that we've been waiting to tell you about for quite some time. Oh, and you can expect weekly giveaways for Train Sim World 5 add-on keys throughout the month too. This should be a really exciting period as we round off the year and get everyone on board for a fantastic new year ahead. That reminds me, I think I've got a key for Standard Edition I haven't given away yet. Must do that. As a note, we won't have a December 2024 roadmap, but we'll catch you at the start of next month with all the fun reveals. There is just one new announcement we wanted to pull forward for you all today. Third-party partner updates, announcing Mittenwaldbahn, a brand new route from Train Sim Germany. Get ready to head back to Austria and discover the Mittenwald Pass in Train Sim Germany's newest upcoming route, Mittenwaldbahn Innsbruck-Garmisch-Partenkirchen. I hope I got that right. TSG do an amazing route. They're full of detail, really well crafted. So here's one of the stations here on a work-in-project image of Innsbruck-Hotting. I can see the jokes coming up on that stream now. The cross-border mountainous adventure will be surely to leave you breathless, and the TSG team wanted to further the excitement with a short teaser for the line. Right, let's watch this then. Train Sim Austria. So the year will be 1989. Very cool. Alrighty, let's go on. Now they did also announce the locomotive for this. As a final spoiler, Mittenwaldbahn will be adding the new OBB 1020 Crocodile locomotive to your collections, rewinding the clock back to 1989. Here we have Mittenwald Station as a work in progress. You can already see it's going to be a fairly highly detailed route with things on the station platforms. I always like that. I always like to see a bit of clutter around the place too. It makes it feel lived in and real. It almost looks narrow gauge, but I looked up Mittenwaldbahn. It isn't actually a standard gauge line, so I guess it's just the camera angle. That's it. Our lips are now sealed. We can guess many of you are extremely keen to find out more, so hold tight as our December reveals event will be the chance to provide more insight into the gameplay you can expect and reveal all new details. There's another work in progress shot here of a mountainous area. And given that you can see a really long way, that's just going to suck the life out of Gen 8. West Coast Main Line, Preston to Carlisle from Just Trains. If you've not heard about the impending Just Trains route, you may be stuck in the past. Then again, this 1980s nostalgic route may just do that to you. West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle will feature the electrified core of the West Coast Main Line from Preston to Carlisle, riding the new Class 87/0 and offer diesel multiple unit services with an updated Class 101 across the Morecambe Promenade branch to the seaside. To kick things off with this section, after reviewing where we are with builds, we have made the difficult decision to delay the release of the add-on until Tuesday the 26th of November. This is to allow Just Trains and our internal QA teams to review some of the final issues and polish the route. My bet is it also allows a little bit of a rest between MBTA Commuter and this one in case they need to whack out a patch. Thursday's preview stream will still happen as before this Thursday on the 14th, which 15th for the Aussies, which we're looking forward to showing you the route in action with Thomas and Benedict from Just Trains. Thank you for your patience as we get this highly anticipated release into the best possible condition for you to enjoy. There we see an image of a route through the valley. It's quite interesting countryside this. I did visit it on my UK holiday, and rolling hills, big flat patches, quite varied. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out in the game. Lots of stone walls and things. So that's looking pretty nice. We've shared a huge host of information from the line from our recent articles, more from the Just Trains development blog, which I've been sharing with every time they come out. And today I'll be sharing details of the services you can expect with the route. The trains, services and timetabling reflect the scene set in the northwest circa 1986 and features a wide variety of traffic from the era. The total number of playable services available with all layers included from other add-ons is over 300, with plenty of additional AI traffic to see as part of the experience. You can see the Class 87, looks like number 87007 or 707, not sure. Tooling along the rails there. So there's the Class 87/2 with 100 plus services, the Class 101 diesel multiple unit with 50 plus services, Class 47/4 with 50 plus services, Class 08 Gronk with 25 plus services. It is worth noting that timetables are more than just a number, and on a route as complex as this, the totals are not always an accurate depiction of the experience. For example, there are multiple light loco moves, and they are split into parts, but on this route, the first of these parts is selectable in the main menu. The rest you play by continuing the session after the first service. This will be explained further in the forthcoming preview stream. I actually really like those. We did that in San Bernardino, and it's really cool. You can only get to the service if you play the first one, and then the next one, and then the next one. It's actually fun. Class 87 Express services run the full length of the route from Preston to Carlisle. These vary from London, Euston, Carlisle trains arriving from off the map at Preston to cross-country services running from the south of England off the map at Carlisle and onward to Scotland. These expresses almost always stop at Lancaster, with some variation in services that stop at Oxenholme and Penrith. The Class 87 also works steel and freight liner trains. You see the view from the cab of the Class 87 as we drive along there. Looks like reasonably nice scenery. I'm spotting some new custom assets in there already. That's cool. The Class 101 operates the stopping services alongside the Class 142 Pacer, which substitutes services for owners of the Blackpool branches. These mainly focus around Lancaster, run from Carnforth, originating from off the map at Barrow or Leeds via Skipton, to Morecambe. A few Class 101 services also exist from Preston through to Carnforth, from where they head off map towards Barrow or Carlisle via the Cumbrian coast. That would be an awesome route. If you can do a nice seaside, that would be an awesome route. The Class 47 features on a variety of freight and passenger services throughout the route. The Class 08 is used mostly for the shunting of parcel stock at Preston, where at Carlisle it is used for coaching stock shunting at both ends of Carlisle station, but also sees services on freight trip workings originating in Kingmore Yard and running to various places in Carlisle itself. As mentioned in our Coming Soon article, a total of 6 hours of shunting is available using the Class 08. Sounds quite interesting. Looks like that's a nice grubby Class 08 too at the cement plant, and very nicely weathered, covered in cement dust. Imagine what that does to the bearings. Ooh. When split out by service type, the number of services for each train is as follows. Class 87, 21 intercity west coast diagrams, 24 cross-country diagrams, 12 sleeper diagrams, 11 mail diagrams, 11 intermodal diagrams, 8 steel trains, 6 speedlink diagrams. Class 47, 2 passenger, 4 additional passenger diagrams, 4 rail tour diagrams, 3 steel diagrams, 3 mail diagrams, 2 limestone diagrams, 2 ballast diagrams, 5 oil diagrams, and 3 speedlink diagrams. I'm kind of curious at what they mean by diagram, so I am actually just Googling. I'm curious what they mean by diagrams. Okay, it's a time distance graph. Okay, we don't call that a diagram here. We call it something else, but that's fine. So it's a time distance graph of the services together. Yep, that's cool. It's an easy way to pictorialize the services and look for clashes and meets and passes and things like that. The Class 101 has 52 Carnforth to Lancaster to Morecambe diagrams, and 10 Preston to Barrow diagrams. A note for players on 8th generation consoles. After reviewing performance, we've amended the timetable to provide a suitable experience for those on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This will include the provision of a streamlined timetable and an absence of road traffic throughout the environment. Once again, a move away from Gen 8. You know what to ask for the end of the year, don't you? Yes, you need a console for Christmas. They're not actually that unaffordable anymore, to be honest, so if you have the means, then perhaps think about upgrading to a Gen 9. We see here a loco servicing facility and some freight being dragged around by a Class 08 with an 87 and a 47 sitting over in the servicing. Looks like some nice blue belching smoke in the ways of measured in at least 3 or 4 Gretas there on the Class 47. Additional service layers. In addition, plenty of extra services can be unlocked with add-ons that contain trains from the same or similar era. That looks like, is that a class, it's not a 20, maybe a 30, sitting there, hauling an intercity service. Some extra services provided by rail tours. This includes the Steam tour, which can be driven the length of the route with either the LMS Jubilee from Spirit of Steam or Flying Scotsman. Other rail tours feature the Class 20, Class 31 from their respective local add-ons, and Class 40 from the BR Heavy Freight Pack. So I think that's a 31. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. For freight, there'll be Class 37s from the Tees Valley Line route add-on, which will feature the Clitheroe cement train using the Class 31's PCA cement wagons, along with a multitude of Speedlink and other freight services using HEA, PCA, CCAL, PGA, TEA, goods vans and mineral wagons, giving you a real variation in terms of freight. That sounds pretty good. Hopefully they've done some work on the CCAL. The trip workings at Carlisle require a multitude of layers to unlock as each service moves around different wagons from location to location. We can see a 47 with the giant terrier on it, the Permanent Way Islington branch 47, and it's got a snowplow, which is quite unique to this route. We haven't seen that before in the game. The full list of add-ons that unlock additional playable and AI services is as follows. Blackpool branches for the Class 142 diesel multiple unit and TEA wagons. West Cornwall local for the Sea Cow and Turbo wagons. Tees Valley line for the HEA wagons. Northern Transpennine for the Class 45 diesel locomotive. Spirit of Steam for the LMS Jubilee steam locomotive, Mark 1 coaches, 16-tonne mineral wagon and 20-tonne brake van. BR Heavy Freight Pack for the Class 40 diesel locomotive, BR Class 31 Loco add-on for the Class 31 and PCA wagons, BR Class 20 Loco add-on for the Class 20 and PGA wagons, the LNER Class A3 60103 Flying Scotsman. So that's probably why it's a bit of a death for the Gen 8s. That's a lot of memory to load all that in. Notable AI services. You can see here the 87 sitting around with its train in Intercity. And we've got some orange paces over the other side, 142s. At Preston, you will see services from locations out of the map at Colne and Ormskirk arrive into the South End, as well as services to and from Blackpool. This means it's a hive of activity all day. The Class 87 also interchanges on the services that are bound for Blackpool, which means that you can see the AI perform a number of loco changes throughout the day. At Carlisle, you will see AI services arrive at the north end from off-the-map locations such as Glasgow, and at the south end from Settle and Carlisle line, the Tyne Valley and the Cumbrian coast, meaning diesel multiple units are regularly seen arriving and departing. At Oxenholme, you will see the Windermere service operating the branch out of the map. Conclusion. The result is not only a base timetable offering hours of varied and nostalgic gameplay with the existing rolling stock, but also a fully fledged experience of the 1980s British rail action encompassing passenger, freight, electric, diesel and steam services for players that own all of the relevant additional content. As a reminder, we have our West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle preview stream this week on Thursday, November 14th, which will be the 15th, Friday the 15th for the Aussies at 6 a.m. Benefit from the Just Trains team, giving full showcase of the line ahead of its release. So that will be pretty cool. So yes, it's at 7 p.m. UTC, so that'll be 6 a.m. for the Aussies on Friday the 15th. And it's with Matt, Jamie, Thomas and Benedict. Forward to that one. And to close off this section, the Just Trades teams wanted to leave you the final teaser before we head into our December announcements. No need to pant with excitement. In the top 10, this DLC will hit that perfect beat, especially for those with suspicious minds, as it's a kind of magic. There you go. It's a lamp on a locomotive. I've already seen some people who seem to have guessed what this is, so stay tuned. Manchester Airport Commuter from Alan Thompson Simulation. In our last roadmap, we introduced Alan Thompson Simulation to the community with the announcement of their first route in Train Sim World, Manchester Airport Commuter. They're going to be reusing the 323, and we have the recently licensed Airbus aircraft flying overhead. Excuse me, my voice is going. It has been rather a lot of talking. You'll be able to explore an improved Manchester Piccadilly, multiple modelled depots along the route and 2 branches of busy commuter traffic to get stuck into. Another place that I've been to, so I look forward to this. That's all we'll share for now, as we're back in our December reveals with new screenshots and information for the route, and we look forward to showing off the progress of ATS's first Train Sim World add-on. This is the airport. Recognising that. Fife Circle line Levenmouth branch update arriving before the end of the year. Coming from our partners at Rivet Games, we're heading back to the Scottish capital with more details about the upcoming release of the Fife Circle and Levenmouth lines in Train Sim World 5. You can see there's a Class 170 sitting in a station here. If you're only now learning about the Fife Circle route, before to read the Fife Circle Out Now article from ages ago and discover the 52-mile loop around Scotland starting at Edinburgh Waverley Station and splitting into a main line and loop line at Inverkeithing, following the iconic side of the Forth Bridge from the window of the ScotRail Class 170 Turbostar. Cameron Bridge there. The new update coming for free to owners of the Fife Circle line add-on in TrainSim World 5 will feature a 5.5 mile route extension for the new 2024 11-month railway link, over 40 new timetable services on the new branch, 2 brand new stations to discover and explore, 16 additional collectibles to find out what's riding the extension, and fully playable conductor mode within the timetable services, or guard mode if you prefer. I did see someone in the chat say, why only 2 stations? And they got quite narky about it. But the reality is there are only 2. So, you know, if you want more, talk to ScotRail. Make them go and make more. And then they can make more in the game. Seems fair to me. As a note, the ScotRail Class 158 Rail Link livery from Skyhook Games will not be releasing alongside this update and will come out at a future date. Additionally, the Fife Circle line add-on will have its route name amended to reflect this new branch being included after the release of this update. The Leven branch is a reopening of an old railway line branching off east from the Thornton North Junction near Glen Rothes to the seaside town of Leven, Fife. It goes via the first new station at Cameron Bridge, then on towards the coastline, terminating at Leven Station. You see Leven Station there with the 170 sitting in it. You'll even be able to encounter the famous ScotRail dog Loki at Leven Station, featured in many ads and social posts from the real world. Is he in the picture? Don't see him there. Oh, there he is. Loki with a safety vest, guarding the ticket machine. Loki to death. Our teams will join you towards the end of the month for a preview of the new update to Fife Circle line, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Introducing Incredible Trains, a new third-party solo developer. We always love bringing in new third-party developers to help us build the best version of TrainSim World possible, and today we have an exciting new solo developer joining the program, Johan Hartmann of Incredible Trains. Let's introduce them and hear some thoughts about their first project. Can you tell us more about yourself and your background in development? Hello, I'm Johan, founder of Incredible Trains, the latest addition to TrainSim World's third-party developer community. As of now, I'm the sole developer at this brand new studio, and I'm thrilled to announce that my very first UK route add-on will be joining TrainSim World soon. With a background in computer science, I first got into game development by modding Transport Fever 2, creating UK rolling stock and asset mods. My proudest achievements as a modder was likely the Transport Fever 2 timetable mod, which significantly expanded gameplay options for the community. I also have some experience in 3D modelling, so when I started experimenting with the TrainSim World PC editor, it quickly became clear that Unreal Engine would be a fantastic platform to learn new skills while building something I love. What began as a side project during my PhD has since grown into my first game studio, and now I'm gearing up to release my debut UK route add-on. Dovetail's fantastic third-party developer program, along with the support of their developers, made it possible for me to turn this vision into reality. So I'm excited to share more about the route in coming weeks leading up to release. What is it that made you want to develop content for TrainSim World, and what's the nature of the project that you're working on? I've always been a passionate train enthusiast. Though I'm not originally from the UK, I've been fascinated by its railway system. Now living here, I spend a lot of time on the local routes, and this upcoming release will actually feature one of my regular journeys. I also have a strong love for creating virtual worlds. Over the years, I've recreated real-life places in multiple games, but I often felt limited by each game's constraints, particularly when it came to replicating railway realism. The Unreal Engine provides me with the creative freedom I've been looking for, while TrainSim World delivers the realism I want to bring my visions to life. Originally, this project was intended as a small learning exercise in Unreal and game development. However, I was ambitious from the start, choosing a significant UK region for my first route. I quickly learned what a massive undertaking route creation is, and eventually narrowed my focus to one line that I'm excited to share soon. What part of the development process are you really enjoying? Developing a route for TrainSim World is incredibly multifaceted, and I've come to enjoy every part of it. Laying the tracks, adding trackside details, and setting up the signalling system were particularly rewarding. I loved learning about the intricacies of UK railway operations and translating that into route's functionality. Then, of course, there's the scenery. Recreating real-world locations as accurately as possible is a huge part of my work. Modelling and texturing the local buildings and then seeing everything come together is incredibly fulfilling. Gameplay design has also been a highlight for me, creating the timetable that was a detailed process involving the study of real train movements and ensuring smooth interactions between different services. I also enjoyed designing scenarios with little story elements to help players fully immersed in the route. Lastly, there's the rolling stock itself. This route will feature a train I've dedicated a lot of time to. Getting it into the game was challenging but immensely rewarding. Driving my virtual recreation of this route has been especially nostalgic for me, as I now live further away from it than I used to. It's a special feeling to relive those journeys in the game, knowing that each detail was crafted with my own memories and experiences. Thank you, Johan. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with our December Season of Reveals event to lift the curtains on this first new route from Incredible Trains. Oh, the excitement, but where could it be? Patches and updates. West Coast Mainline South, major improvements coming early December. Following the launch of Train Sim World 5, we've been listening closely to your feedback for the West Coast Mainline route, and we set in place a commitment to bring you all a range of improvements that will help deliver the best possible experience for the line. Since then, we've shipped multiple changes with fixes and minor changes over a series of post-release updates, and today we're happy to announce that our teams are ready to deliver the large-scale route enhancements we've been working hard on, with support and collaboration from key community members. So we can see a Class 87. So this is from the other one. So perhaps they're bringing in the 87 into this route as well. That'd be cool. This overhaul will include 800 new timetable services with additional rail tours, a rework to freight gameplay with new layers, a range of large scenery improvements, including tweaks to nighttime lighting, terrain and water texture updates, 710 stop markers, and route-wide fixes and tweaks. Alongside this, we'll be adding the Class 350 suspension physics, and we thank you for your patience as we've implemented this. We see a 710 sitting here, heading for Euston. See below a full breakdown of what you can expect. Gameplay improvements, new suspension physics to the 350. Timetable improvements, 800 new services being added, bringing a total of services to 2,000 plus, with 990 being playable. Freight fully reworked with multiple layers, unloading, shunting, and correct speeds and pathing. New freight layers, new Train Sim World 5 gameplay pack with HOA, JNA, MFA, and TEA wagons. Fully reworked London Overground and London Underground services, credit to Forks for the layers, and additional support, testing and research by Vion. Marston Vale full services, including playable empty cars services moves. 87 Friday Charter Rail Tour. Flying Scotsman, the Cheshire Man Rail Tour. Class 390s timed for 125 mile an hour. Brent sidings and other yard statics. Sleeper static. Fix incorrect missing service numbers and portal destinations linked. We can see the Scotty out for a bit of a trundle with the rail tour. Scenery improvements. Scenery enhancements along the route, including distant and trackside scenery, updated water materials, added the 710 stop markers, tweaked the PIS to Euston ramps with new Euston concourse screen, added disused Primrose Hill station, now a starting point for freight, added disused Brent sidings, added the Williston F sidings as a playable area, added blue glow to the Wembley arches, added rusty rail ends, fixed light sources not having TOD 4 emissive values, fixed light baking at Primrose Hill Tunnel, removed foliage overlapping the tracks, removed excessive light sources around the original Bakerloo section, helping performance, terrain and foliage colour correcting, tree lods match model colour, grass matches, scenery objects, grass, etc. That should be less pop-in, that should be good. You can see the blue glow over the arches on the stadium. To keep you informed of our progress, we're now in the final steps of development after working with our beta teams for their feedback, and we're shortly moving towards QA testing, then assigning it to builds ready for release around this time next month. So, early December that means. So, what, man, the middle of December we should see that. See a DB Red 66 here, trundling along with a Pendolino going overhead. We're extremely grateful for the community support our teams have received when developing these improvements, and wanted to thank you all for sharing your feedback and waiting patiently for an update on our progress. We hope these changes will give the West Coast Mainline South route the full experience many of you have wanted since our first announcement. Like the disused sidings there, looks quite nice, a bit overgrown. Looks a little like the narrow gauge that I operate on. Train Sim World 5 released updates. Since our last roadmap, we've continued with our series of post-release updates to stay on top of key community-raised issues and address immediate feedback. We're seeing the core content. October the 15th was the first major patch and a range of improvements. Crash fixes on the 28th, and a small update to UI and localization and prep for MBTA on the 7th. of November. State of play, performance, crashes and textures. In this section, we wanted to share with you an honest update for where we're at with regards to overall performance, crash reports in Train Sim World 5, and linked to these is also the discussion around textures appearing at lower resolution than expected for console platforms. All of these are tied to available memory budgets being exceeded, and our teams have been investigating ways to save memory and help reduce the impact and frequency of these issues. We've been able to identify small improvements and optimizations we can make, some of which have already been shipped in patches released so far, and the team are constantly reviewing performance data across core content, looking at FPS averages at key stations across the routes, and tracking the overall volume of crashes for each platform. These issues remain a clear focus for our teams to improve, work is ongoing and profiling continues, but to stay transparent with everyone across our community, it's unfortunately not something our teams will be able to deliver this side of the holidays. We will continue in the new year on our plan to bring you further optimizations with the aim to further reduce the volume of crashes we're seeing in Train Sim World 5, allow the best performance possible. Interestingly enough, on PC, I rarely have them. On the Xbox X, I rarely have them. So I think it's the lower memory systems that are potentially experiencing that. We are grateful for you all staying patient whilst we keep at it. Thank you. Mod packaging optimizations. For those of you who are driving into the community modding scene, we've got more good news coming in the form of improvements to optimize loading times when booting with several mods. This primarily affects any modded content that doesn't contain asset registry files, vastly reducing the amount of time needed to load these when booting the game. As an example from our testing, we found with a sample of 50 mods installs, these improvements reduced the time taken to load from roughly 7 minutes all the way down to 1 minute. Additionally, alongside this update, we have more changes. Add-on Manager will now fully support scenery overlay mods with dependencies. Added mod support on the Microsoft Store Game Pass version of the game, along with ability to use the public editor with that version of the game. That's a step towards getting it onto the Xbox, interestingly. These changes are not yet implemented. We look forward to supporting our community everywhere we can, and we hope for these who join in the community-made content will be a big quality of life boost. Community Corner, Train Sim World Tycoon, play now on Roblox. I've actually played this, it's a bit of fun. A couple of weeks ago, we our first game into the Roblox platform, Train Sim World Tycoon, which has since seen over 5,000 positive ratings and a staggering 1 million visits. We're so excited to see such positive welcome for this new title. We can't wait to developing it further with our friends at the Tailwind team. If you've not heard about it, this is a multiplayer experience that allows you and a group of friends to build and run your own train stations and drive a range of locomotives around a charming stylized world with easy driving controls that are perfect for all ages. Check out the TSW Tycoon website to find out more details. Our journey has only just begun. We've got so many more improvements and new content coming up in the future that we can't wait to share with you. If you're interested, why not join the Dovetail Games Roblox group? We can also see your initial feedback and thoughts. So just remember, it's not a simulator. It is a kids game. It really is. So I've seen some people whinging that it's not realistic trains, and well, duh, it's not aimed at you. Give it a chance. It's fun. Roadmap live stream to wrap up the roadmap. Alex and Matt, that's just happened, so you can watch that if you'd like to. I'll chuck down a link down below as usual, and if you've got any questions, put it in the Q&A thread. And well, yes, they did actually answer those live. There wasn't a lot of them, but there were some, and they did answer them. And that's it for the Train Sim World News for November. Bit of a long one. There we go. Have fun, folks. Got any questions or comments? Chuck them down below. See what I can do to help you out. As always, enjoy. See you later. Bye now.
We played a game.